everybody. Welcome to episode 4 of Mind Matters. Today we're going to be talking about depression. I'm Addison, and Shelby sadly is gone this week with just a sickness. I don't exactly know what, but she's just sick. So it's just me, but I do have a special guest today. Her name is
Molly McPherson.
And she is going to be helping me through this and basically is a replacement for Shelby for now. So the definition of depression is a group of conditions associated with the elevation or lowering of a person's mood, such as depression or bipolar disorder. Common types of depression are clinical depression, persistent depressive disorder, bipolar 1 disorder, bipolar 2 disorder, and postpartum depression. Clinical depression is a mood disorder that causes a persistent feeling of sadness and loss of interest. Persistent depressive disorder is a continuous long-term form of depression. Bipolar 1 disorder is a mental illness that causes unusual shifts in a person's mood, energy, activity levels, and concentration. Bipolar 2 disorder is a pattern of depressive episodes and hypomanic episodes. These episodes are less severe than manic episodes in bipolar 1 disorder.
Postpartum disorder is a medical condition that many women get after having a baby. It's strong feelings of sadness, anxiety, worried, and tiredness that last for a long time after giving birth. The next information is coming from hopefordepression.org, and it's a very good organization that is not sponsoring us, but you should definitely go check it out. Did you know that clinical depression affects over 18 million adults, 1 in 10, in any given year? This depression is also the leading cause of disability for ages 15 to 44. Depression is the primary reason why someone dies of suicide about every 12 minutes and over 41,000 people a year. And that information comes from Centers of Disease Control and Prevention. Bipolar disorder affects 2.6 of the U.S. adult population, which is 6.3 million people. It often starts in a person's late teen or early adult years, but children and older adults can have bipolar disorder too. The illness usually lasts a lifetime.
Postpartum depression is reported to occur in 15% of women shortly before or any time after childbirth. It commonly begins between a week and a month after delivery. People with postpartum depression have a higher risk of developing in women with a previous experience with depression, current depression, anxiety, and low partner support. It affects just the mother's health, but it doesn't just affect the mother's health, it can also interfere with her ability to care for her family, leading to impaired child development. Some key facts about depression is a common mental illness. More women are affected by depression than men. Depression can lead to suicide. There is effective treatment for mild, moderate, and severe depression, which obviously means that you have hope and there are resources for you. And if you need somebody to talk to about your depression or just want advice, you can obviously contact us, but if you go to our school, you can contact our school counselors, and if you don't have any of those, you can obviously contact a doctor. You can just tell somebody that you trust and you love and you can tell things to, because most of the time they will understand, and if they don't, then just move on and tell somebody else about it. Because if you are struggling from these symptoms, and which obviously Molly will about to go over, just make sure that you do reach out to someone. It doesn't matter who, but just talk to somebody about how you're feeling, because it does get better, and it can get better if you just open up and are open about it. So, yeah.
The main causes of depression is, in your family history, depression can run through genes. Personality. Some people's personality has a high risk of turning into depression. It's a serious mental illness, and it can also be caused by life events and changes in the brain. Some symptoms would be persistent, sad, anxious, or empty moods, feelings of hopelessness, irritability, frustration, or relentlessness, having a sense of impending danger, panic, or doom, breathing rapidly, also known as hyperventilation, trembling, a weak and tired feeling, having memory problems, not being able to go to sleep, losing appetite or having a large appetite, and having trouble concentrating.
So Molly, have you experienced depression, or has anybody that you know around you experienced depression?
Yes, I have experienced depression. It was actually not too terribly long ago, I would say. Well, I've had depression twice that I would say, but I don't really open up about it, but I will now. It was the summer after my freshman year, the first time, and then it was this past March.
Okay, and what are the reasons why you were affected by depression?
Okay, so the summer after my freshman year, well, I was in a relationship basically my whole freshman year, and it was an okay relationship, I would say, for the most part, but after the breakup, he kind of spread rumors and everything, and this was right before school started, so I knew in my mind that everyone had this look on me that is like, yeah, it's just really like a really bad look and they're believing things that were not true, and it kind of just put me in a mental state like, oh my gosh, this year's gonna be awful, nothing can change it, and everyone's gonna have false beliefs in me that I can't change because it was posted on social media.
So you've experienced cyberbullying?
Well, sort of. It's like, well, he posted it on his story, and one of my friends saw it. Well, we weren't really close, but he sort of became like a big older brother to me last year, and he saw it and told him to take it down because my ex looked up to him, and so he had him take it down. So, yeah.
So how did it make you, like, internally feel after all these things had happened?
It made me feel empty. It was like I had no one to talk to because everyone had a false sense of who I was at this point, and, like, why would they believe me over him, right? So it was like, who can I trust? I was just alone. I felt alone.
Yeah, that's obviously another big thing with depression. You feel lonely, but there is somebody, I'm sure you obviously got through it. How did you get through it?
I got through it by finding my little circle. Like, if people who knew me knew I wouldn't do these things,
Yes.
knew that I wouldn't be like this. And so I found my circle and I stayed in it, and finally people were beginning to realize, oh my gosh, it was all lies, after other things he did to other people as well. So it kind of just opened me back up and got me happy, like surrounding myself with friends that I knew I could trust.
Yeah, that can happen with you, but there's also obviously other big circumstances. I wouldn't say I've ever struggled with depression. Maybe like I every now and then will have seasonal depression because there is times where I just don't feel, but I don't think it's ever like reoccurred. It's most of the time just for like a month, and then I'm fine. It's kind of over. But most of the time I just obviously get the feeling that I'm very lonely and like I have nobody. And that has actually happened. I can't even count how many times it's happened. It's happened a lot of times, to be for real. But most of the time I just talk to it with my mom. Like, my mom is like my closest person that I talk to about things like that.
I get scared to talk to my mom about that stuff.
Yeah, some people do, but like she's very supportive and will like understand everything and always take my side. So if anybody on this podcast who is listening, if you have anybody who you believe supports you and will believe you, then you can talk to them about that. Obviously, Molly found a group for her to talk to. Mine is my mom, because most of the time she understands my feelings because she also experienced most of the things when she was younger. So if you have somebody like that, like you can look up to, and
oh my gosh, and my cousin. She's such a queen. I tell her everything.
Yeah. I just know that my mom also won't go around telling people. So if you have somebody that you know will not go around telling people all how you feel.
Know who your real friends are, not your fake ones.
Because you will notice that when you tell some people that those things, everybody else just suddenly figures out about it. Most of the time that means that you don't have a real friend and they're telling other people. So if it's quiet and nobody ever figures out, then that is a good thing. But obviously if you are thinking about suicide, please note that there are preventions for you. And also, even if you're feeling depressed, there is hotlines for you to call. about how you're feeling if you don't have anybody, because some people do not. So just call one of those hotlines. All right, I think that's a wrap on everything that we've talked about. We pretty much covered everything that we could. Like I said, if you do need help and somebody to talk to, we are open to texting you. I will tag Molly in this on Instagram, so if you want to go follow our Instagram, please do. You can DM her there too about anything, because she has obviously experienced it. But if you want to talk to a professional, there's many counseling. If you do feel that a lot of these episodes that the things that we've talked about depression, PTSD, anxiety, and also suicide prevention. So if you are feeling any of those in your mind and you relate to any of them, or just more than one, please talk to somebody. Find
a lot of them tie together too.
Yeah, they do.
Like
a lot of them
PTSD
do.
and depression can tie together.
Yep. So just contact a treatment, just a therapy place to talk to somebody, because therapists are the best option. Obviously, you can contact us, but we don't always know what we're talking about. So they always
We
do.
can give helpful advice, we
Yes.
might not give correct advice.
Yes, yeah, not correct, but helpful. So if you need somebody who really has a literal degree about it, get a counselor, because I have a counselor and it definitely helps me with my anxiety, as I talked in the last episode. But yeah, I think that's all. Thank you all for listening. Bye.